Here is part 2 of story The Silence Beneath Sycamore Street. I stared at the photo Detective Branner handed me for nearly a full minute, even though it was grainy. I knew that hoodie, heather gray with the frayed cuff. Melanie wore it whenever she curled up on the couch with her tea and a murder mystery, but that night at 3:47 a.m., she wasn't curled up. She was walking toward our house, alone. I asked the detective where the image came from. A traffic camera on 4th Street, she said. Time-stamped about 2.5 hours before your alarm clock went off. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. If Melanie was coming home at 3:47, that meant she'd left the house even earlier, which meant everything she wrote in the note was written before that, before she came back, before she disappeared. And if she did come back, then what the hell happened after that? That photo changed everything. The investigation shifted. Now, it wasn't about where she went. It was about what happened to her after she returned. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know where I was between 3:30 and 6 a.m. I told them I was asleep. I had no reason to be up. No phone calls, no texts, no noise. They didn't say anything, just scribbled notes. I wasn't under arrest, but I was under suspicion, and that suspicion seeped into every part of my life. I stopped going to work, couldn't handle the way people looked at me, like they were trying to solve me like a puzzle. The guy with the missing wife, the guy with the insurance policy, the guy who wasn't crying enough. You'd be surprised how many people think grief has a playbook. A week later, a new name entered the conversation. Zachary Flint. I'd never heard of him before, but apparently, Melanie had. Branner pulled his name from Mel's old phone records, calls, texts, a couple of voicemails. Then came the emails. Dozens of them. Turns out they met at a library conference in Dallas. He was a software rep pushing some digital catalog platform, harmless on paper, married with a daughter. But the messages didn't stay professional for long. There were jokes, late-night texts, wish you were here type things. And then, around 2 months before she vanished, the tone shifted. Mel wrote, "I wish I could just disappear for a while, with you, somewhere no one knows our names." That wrecked me. I didn't want to believe she meant it. Maybe she was venting. Maybe it was fantasy. We all say things we don't mean when we feel trapped, right? But then Branner hit me with the bombshell. Zachary Flint flew into town the day before Melanie disappeared. Didn't rent a car, paid cash at a motel off the freeway, checked out the next day before noon. Never told his wife, never told anyone. They brought him in for questioning. At first, he denied it, said he was home that week. Then Branner pulled the flight record and motel receipt. The guy folded like wet cardboard, said Mel had asked him to come, said they met for coffee, talked for hours. He claimed they didn't sleep together, just talked. She told him things weren't working with me, that she needed out, that she was scared. Scared of what? He didn't say, or maybe he didn't know. He swore he left her at the coffee shop, claimed she wanted to go home and clear the air with me. His timeline matched the surveillance photo, but not the reality. Because if Melanie walked home from that cafe, and if she did go inside that house again, then where the hell did she go? Branner started pressing harder. If Zach was telling the truth, Melanie should have walked in the door around 4:15 a.m. But I swear to God, I never heard her, never saw her. The bed was empty when I woke up, the wine glass still full, the note still untouched. Unless she came in and then walked back out. 3 days later, a jogger found something near the river trail, a scarf, Melanie's, caught on a branch by the embankment about 5 miles from our house. It was still damp, even though it hadn't rained in 2 days. I went there myself just to see it. The trail was quiet, lined with cottonwoods and brush. One wrong turn and you could disappear into the thickets without anyone seeing a thing. Branner had dogs sniff the area. They picked up something, a scent, but it faded near the old service road. And then we got the break. A local gas station on that same road, Wilson's Mart, had an old camera above Pump 3. The feed was blurry, but at exactly 4:37 a.m., a car pulled into frame, a dark SUV. It idled for a minute, then the driver stepped out, hood up, gloves on. The timestamp wasn't clear and the plate was unreadable, but Branner froze the image and showed it to me. "Do you recognize this jacket?" I looked. It was black, thick, patches on the elbow, and I felt my stomach twist. Because I did recognize it. It was my jacket, one I hadn't worn in over a year, thought I'd given it away, but I checked when I got home. It was gone. At that point, I didn't know what to believe anymore. Was someone trying to frame me? Had Melanie staged this whole thing? Or was something darker going on? I started revisiting the note, reading between the lines, trying to find some kind of code, some hidden message. And that's when I noticed something strange. At the bottom corner of the page, on the back, there was a faint imprint, like someone had written on a sheet above it with a pen. I held it up to the light, and I could barely make out the number 426 DL 426 DL. It meant nothing to me, but Branner had it tested. Forensic enhancement brought it out clearer, and she figured it out. 426 was a locker at the downtown bus terminal. DL, drop location. They retrieved the key from security. Inside locker 426 was a single flash drive. Encrypted. Took the text 2 days to crack it, and when they did, they found 3 video files, each less than a minute long, shot on Melanie's phone. The first was just her face, tired, puffy-eyed, sitting in what looked like a car. She said, "If you're watching this, something went wrong. I tried to stop it, I really did." The second video, different angle. She's crying now. He said it wouldn't be messy, that it would look like an accident. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't even know who he really is. The third video, 22 seconds long. She whispers, "Eli, if you find this, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. I really did. But I was in too deep. And now I think it's too late. He knows where you sleep." That was the moment everything turned. Not just for the case, but for me. Because someone out there was playing a much bigger game. And whoever he was still out there, watching.